Welcome back, folks. Before we go on, I just want to check on some sports stats, keep myself sharp here on the sports, and I'll use my computer and just go in here, and I'm going to check. Okay.
Too much dip. We're back. They had us back. Episode 2. Should we keep track of these by number?
I don't know. We don't know. I'm just excited to hear the beat again.
That second Mike Breen hits you like I don't know where. You're not ready for it.
I just want to lay down some bars for everybody.
I wish you would.
If I had bars, they would be laid.
It's about time you bring something.
Yeah, I don't have.
Bring the bars.
I don't have bars.
My name's Dave. That voice you just heard is Dylan, one of my co-hosts. Hi,
Hey,
Dylan.
everybody. Glad to be here.
Just forcing his hand on an early introduction.
I'm sorry. Just excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here.
problem?
I didn't know if you were going to come back after last week.
I almost did. I don't like anyone in this room.
You were the most antsy to get out of here to go let your dog out.
Well, it had been a minute.
90 minutes.
I just went home. No, 90 minutes?
No, the pod went 90 minutes.
Yeah, the pod did. Yeah.
We normally won't go 90. But if there's too much tent, too much dip's going to cover it.
Stella and I were hanging out no less than 30 minutes ago, so I'm ready.
That's his dog if you're new here.
Puppy,
Stella's
no
my
less.
pup.
Speaking of
She's a
dogs, producer Micah,
Hello, Kings
who doesn't actually produce, confusing,
and Queens. It's great to be back. Thank you for having me.
brought your own mic again.
He's got a backwards cab. He kind of got that E-boy flow going right now.
Not sure what that means, but
yeah,
thank
we
you.
went
Look
over
it up.
this on Circling
Okay,
Back.
Look
great.
it up.
I'll just say it feels great to be here, and I have decided to wear the hat as the cameras in this room show how follically challenged I am.
Just a little extra shine.
Thank you.
I don't want to hear it on that.
I fair.
I think you're handsome. Okay.
You're in great shape, at least.
Well, somebody, there's got to be something going on here during this quarantine hell period. And I feel
Arguably,
great
you
about
have the most hair of anyone in this room.
Well, that's true. That's true. The quarantine haircut has yet to happen. The flow is abundant. Yeah.
You haven't gotten a cut since March?
February, I think.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
You and Parks.
Parks looks great,
is
though.
Shaggy, man.
Yeah.
He's got the flow.
He's-
COVID flow.
He's not losing any up front.
He's got that
No
swoop
power
going.
alleys yet.
He has not yet started to lose his hair. Not as a 5-year-old. He's still got a,
He's on.
a healthy
Actually,
head.
I'm jealous.
I got him on 4 hymns.
Yeah.
This is non-spawn for this particular episode.
I don't want to mess with his
Is it promo code Parks or?
his biological makeup this early on in his.
Promo code Velociraptor. Did you notice Barrett? Let's introduce KJ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's up,
Jeez.
Cage?
What's happening?
How we doing?
Dude, you got the full lap stitch going.
I got the
Popped up.
I got the iPad.
You had that
rocked
last
out.
time too.
Yeah.
You did?
I went iPad. I did bring the laptop, but to be honest, I navigate that so slow when I'm dragging and dropping. But yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this shit.
I was so dialed last time I didn't even notice.
You're in the zone. You've got a lot going on.
Oh, and you also brought your mic cover again.
I did. I brought my mic. However, I was not going to be a holder like Micah today. And I was like, you know what? Just out of comfort, I get a little close. I got to get real up and close on the microphone so people hear me. Got that tinny voice.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It just sounds like shit. I don't have the deep, dulcery tones of Dylan Shivery.
Well, you know,
Whoa.
he drops it an octave.
Few
It's
people
completely
do.
fake.
That's true. This isn't my normal speaking voice. I drop it low.
You were doing vocal practice out in the hall. I saw that.
I,
on the
I
website.
drop it
much
low
more-
for the baddies.
Gotcha.
You know how it goes, Dave.
He's got more of a Ted Cruz type voice in real life. If you know the real Dylan.
I don't think that's accurate.
I've got the opposite of whatever NPR ASMR shit that y'all have had Brett doing this week. As he's like joining with a cup of coffee. He's like, hello, guys.
Yeah, well,
welcome
you know,
to Circling Back.
Just limping into this thing.
I got to give Brett props because I told him he was going to be on replacing Will, but I didn't tell him he was going to be sitting in the wheelchair. And he just kind of showed up and was like, "Yeah, you're doing this. You're steering the ship."
You're on the boards.
Threw him into the fire. Threw him into the deep end of the pool. Threw him into the ocean.
Yeah, we get it. He had a sink or swim type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, if he would have botched it, we would have fired him on the spot, or at least furloughed him.
Yeah. Yes.
You talked about it. You've been wanting to. No, I'm kidding. He did a great job. And you know what? You guys did a great job. You guys and gals following at Too Much Dip, DIPP on Twitter. Also at Too Much Dip Podcast on Instagram.
You know,
Thank you all.
we got some positive feedback about episode 1, which you love to see, but you haven't seen anything yet, folks.
Yeah.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
What'd you see?
We're still like doing warm up drills.
We're still doing the drops.
We're doing pregame layups still. Just wait till the real shit starts.
The referee hasn't even come
I'm
out.
gonna start lobbing it up to Micah. He's gonna be throwing down hard.
Is the worst rule in UIL history. There's plenty of worse ones, but
Can't dunk before games.
Can't dunk before a game, and like so, it's just at Duncanville. It was. I remember Chris Owens, former Longhorn great, just throwing them down before the refs got out there, and they would run out, and everybody had to act like they weren't just throwing down 6 slam dunks.
Yeah. Our guy was McCad Brooks, who went on to be an actor.
Oh, True Blood.
True Blood guy.
Yeah.
He had a 40-plus inch vertical.
Very hot human being.
Very handsome.
Is he
young
hot?
man.
HPO?
Yeah, we've talked. He's a very hot guy.
Yeah.
But he was like the guy you watch before games. He was just throwing him down. It was stupid.
Do you remember Chris Owens?
I remember the name, but I could not tell you that I remember his game.
Absurd athlete.
He
Kind of
was
flamed out at Texas with injuries.
Supposedly related to Jesse Owens.
Great nephew.
We
Yeah,
all are.
Good.
Grandnephew? Great nephew.
Yes.
He was a great nephew.
He was a tremendous athlete and a good basketball player.
Can I say, as long as
the
we
Tom Pender's days, as I recall.
are numbering the episodes, that we look at last week kind of like UIL does and just call that week 0 or episode 0
Ooh, it was
and then
sports
move forward
time.
from there.
I don't hate it.
I feel like we had a lot to just, clear out the pipes, get it all on the table. And, we're getting up to speed. We'll be off and running.
Plus, like, we got more sports to talk about.
Exactly.
Now. The last one was like, hey, this is what we're going to be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time to like actually talk about it.
We're breaking down box scores. We're not doing that today either, but
We are breaking down reviews.
yes.
We got some.
We need
reviews.
your 5-star reviews, and we need you to subscribe.
Well, we should thank the people.
We want to thank
because
everybody who has, because like
due to
thousands of you have.
Due to the hard work of everyone here, that hard work that takes about 6 seconds after you find Too Much Dip on wherever you listen to podcasts, and then you subscribe, and then you rate and review. This podcast was in the top 5
It's a top 5
sports podcasts in
at one
America.
time.
It still is, actually, as of this morning.
2
So
days in a row. They can never take that away.
A lot of people are saying we're going to stay there, if not move up.
I think it's there. So the best way to do that would be to continue. If you haven't yet taken that 5 seconds it takes to give us 5 stars and then leave a review, you should do that. And Dave, do you want to share some of these reviews that we've seen?
Yeah, this is by far the best. This is from Pat. It's 5 stars, 19 hours ago. The thing about Too Much Dip is that the chip has too much dip on it.
Wow.
And that's
Fair.
a really good review. Like, I don't mind feedback in a review as long as it's 5 stars, and this is exactly what I'm looking for.
I would just like to say, here's one from someone calling themselves Ryan B. Day. It's entitled A Review, and then the review reads, "This is a review."
Yeah, very.
And, is
Well thought out.
that isn't very well thought out or descriptive, but it still counts in the iTunes algorithm, so it is much appreciated.
And it
Shouts
counts-
to Ryan B.
And
Day.
it counts in our hearts as well.
It does.
Absolutely.
They took the time to do the bare minimum, and that means a lot.
There was one I was going to read before I read the name of the person. It sounds super suspect, which is KCCO Dallas, questionable. And it says time to redo the 9 tiles, asking if there's a new alpha in town, and people are certainly saying it. Whoever that person is, I agree with what they're saying.
KCCO Dallas. I think they're a big chive person.
Chive on.
Yeah.
Who is the new alpha?
That's what I wasn't sure about. I didn't know if that was that.
KJ?
Are you the new alpha?
I don't know if they're talking about Micah or me, but I'm not going to give shit to Micah.
Nah. Micah is quite alpha, but people are familiar with him already if they've been around.
Well,
a while.
you're based in Dallas. I think you're the new alpha of the Dallas Chiver community.
I might have paid for that one. I like that.
Somebody used to say that Micah was called the consenting cuck.
That's right.
It has been said.
It's got a ring to it.
Here's a review from someone calling themselves DJ Queef.
Okay.
It's entitled Dip. Was sad to see this was not a pod discussing the ins and outs of the chewing tobacco world, but was still a pleasurable listen. So thank you, DJ Queef.
We can't say that it's not going to be at some point. There were a couple things offered up to us about the size of people's dips relative to baseball.
Wide
So-
latitude here.
We can discuss that.
A lot of Lenny Dykstra photos sent our way.
Yeah.
Big fan of tobacco.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Just
How's he doing? Not great, right?
He's a loony. He's very
Not,
loony.
not great at all.
He's crazy.
And I'll get you one more. How about that? It just says, thick. Micah is back, thicker than ever. True. Thick thighs, hot takes. What's not to love?
Thick and hot.
I can't think of anything.
Any negative ones you want to read?
Here's one from Starin121. Can't wait to double dip next week, I think. It kind of cut off. My favorite part is that there is very small amount of Micah Wiener so far. My name is misspelled here.
Well, it's actually pronounced Wiener.
Well, it's not. But this
That's
was
how your uncle
this
says,
was intentionally misspelled. This was spelled the Anthony Weiner way,
which is your
That's
your uncle.
confusing.
but it's not the way that I spell my name.
I don't want to stop us down, but is he actually related to you? I've always been confused
Yeah,
as
that's
about
his
this.
actual uncle.
He-
That's
Our names
that's
are
impressive.
spelled differently. We are not family.
Is
Thank-
it
we are
like
not
one of those
related.
things where like it was changed at Ellis Island, like my family.
Well, that.
That is
yeah.
actually my family's island, though. That's the weird thing about Ellis Island.
Oh wow!
Unrelated, but we've had some property in the Northeast for a
Generational
while.
wealth.
Yeah, now's not the time to call out my ancestors who chose the name Weiner amongst all names they could have chosen at Ellis Island, but that is the one they went with.
They were just funny people.
Yeah, I guess they like dick jokes.
It was originally Wiesenkoeks.
I don't know the origination, but it was not.
Wasn't Wiesencox?
I don't believe that's what it was. Man, this podcast is fun. We're having a lot of fun.
Dude, we haven't had. Just wait.
Okay, good. It's been a minute. This is great.
I was all ready to talk about the NBA. It's coming back.
National Basketball Association.
And I still want to talk NBA, but rather than just jump into some sick matchups, I kind of want to talk MPJ, Missouri's own. Micah.
Oh, jeez.
Can we just, do you want to, I'm
Sure.
going to let you take the floor and kind of steer the ship because Michael Porter Jr. is someone near and dear to your heart.
Well, sure. Let me read what the reporting from someone named Clevis Murray, who is a contributor to The Athletic Boston. Okay? Michael Porter Jr. via Snapchat, quote, "Personally, I think the coronavirus is being used for a bigger agenda. It's being used for population control in terms of being able to control the masses of people. The whole world is being controlled." This happened during a Snapchat Q&A, which Porter Jr. then said, quote, "He's never been vaccinated in my life. I never had any shots or anything like that." The reporter here notes the University of Missouri, where Porter Jr. enrolled, requires all students born after 1956 to comply with 2-dose immunization policy.
So what are you saying here?
So how did he sneak through?
Well, that's a great question, Dylan. It might have something to do with the fact that he was the top-ranked high school basketball player in the country.
Good point.
And his brother, who was also a top 20 recruit, also came with him, and his dad was on the payroll.
Mm-hmm.
We should mention here, Porter Jr., these, I don't know if you're people probably aren't familiar with the Porter Jr. family, or the Porter family, as it were. They're homeschoolers.
Mm-hmm.
What are you trying to say about homeschoolers? Weren't you homeschooled?
I was not.
You put
I
off
forgot
homeschool
about that
vibe.
bit. I forgot about that bit that you used to do, calling me a
It
homeschooler.
was mean. I'm sorry.
They're a little wacky.
They're
apparently.
a little weird.
Yeah.
A little weird. Yeah.
Turns out.
Now everybody's homeschooled due to the ongoing global pandemic.
Well, I hope that everybody continues to be vaccinated, even if they're not going to school.
What about Dwight Howard?
Do we have to get into Dwight? I don't even think that's worth talking about.
Let
at
me
this
say
point.
this. I give Michael Porter Jr., how old is he, 23? If that?
Probably
22.
not that. He played 1 year in college. 1 year in college.
Shout out
He's
to
a
your-
kid.
This is
come back
his
for 2 years,
second
maybe.
year in
His
the
frontal
league.
lobe is not developed. I mean, he's under 25, right?
There's no way
Yeah,
we
he's
could
like 20 probably.
know that at all.
Dwight Howard is in his 30s. Dwight Howard should know better, in theory.
Yes. Dwight Howard should just be banished.
He every year finds a way to become like one of the most relevant stories in the NBA, and it's
For the worst
normally
reasons.
not for his on-court performance. Now, there was a time.
Not the worst reasons, to be fair.
No,
we
never
never
like-
know of Dwight being arrested or doing
Right.
anything, too terrible. Just bad takes.
Getting credit for not grabbing the rim and calling it a dunk. The trash Superman dunk was.
It was a
weak.
bad dunk.
There was
It
also
it
the
like a
weird
power
thing
spike.
with I'll just say Black Sports Online was the only person who reported it.
BSL.
Yes, shouts to Robert Littell, the great Robert Littell. But Dwight was hung up. There was some sexual relations with a character. I'm not going to get into it.
Alleged.
Alleged that went to court, but ESPN didn't cover it. It's a whole thing. Dwight's trash, basically.
Okay.
I'd like to never hear Dwight Howard speak ever again.
Remember when the Mavs pretty much dumped their title team so they could go after Dwight?
I'm pretty sure Raising Cane's like offered him free nuggies for life or free tendies for life and put up billboards around DFW.
Yeah, for some reason it didn't help. Probably because Raising Cane's is very average.
Dwight said, "Nah, I'm good.
Unless they want to sponsor this show, in which case,
You know what? It's good.
The bread's
I
solid."
like Raising Cane's.
yeah, but like if your bid is chicken strips, like you can't have people being like, "Oh, your bread's good."
That's very fair.
Dave,
strips,
to be
dog.
fair,
That's fine.
I mean, I've heard you speak on Popeye's biscuits many times.
But the chicken slaps too.
No, that's true. And and no offense, KJ, I'm taking a biscuit over a slice of Texas toast with
Okay.
100 out of 100.
I can't fight you there, but I will say the margin of error is much wider in biscuits than it is in Texas toast.
Fair.
What were you going to say about the Popeyes biscuits?
They're tremendous.
Oh, no.
Oh,
But you can't. That's a part of the Popeyes experience.
He was
right.
saying you.
Oh, okay.
You can't
talk
just
about-
discount.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You
the only
dunked
other
on
thing
me.
I'll say about Michael Porter Jr. is when we're talking about population control and bigger agendas, this is
Who's he
more.
speaking of?
This is more than just like anti-vax stuff. Now we're treading in a direction of some other things, and I'm not going to get
Illuminati
to.
type
Like
stuff.
what?
You'd have to. Alex Jones is based in Austin. We'd have to get him on to talk about population control.
Why haven't we reached out to Alex Jones yet? That's the question.
You might be too hot to handle. His
We had our chance at Matt's to just
we did see him at Matt's.
really sell him on
He
it.
seems like of celebrities, especially local celebrities, most likely to have a conflict with you in a public place if you approach them. He is high atop the list.
Oh yeah.
He's at
Oh,
the
yeah.
top. Yeah.
He won't be embarrassed to like yell at you in public. He's not gonna be like, dude, I'm with my family, man. Like, can you? He's gonna be like, he's gonna stand up and like, call you out for supporting the globalist agenda or whatever it is he's railing on.
Are you happy now?
Shouts
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Just want to shout out all the globalists out there.
Shout out to the lizard people that are coming to light this past week. Anyhow, moving along.
Yeah, speaking of
I like-
chicken, by the way, let's talk about the Lou Will thing.
I like this next one
Yes.
because Micah put it in as wings at the titter. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not.
I like
but
calling it a titter too,
we're
Mike.
the
I do too.
Hey, we're the fellas. This is how the fellas talk when they're doing the pod. Lou Williams. This story dropped a few days ago, but he left the bubble on an excused absence, a funeral for the father of a friend, right? Went to the funeral visitation. Then he did what most people do after that. They go to Magic City and pick up wings.
Where is Magic City in relation to the bubble? I don't know. the
Atlanta,
area.
Orlando. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, I thought it was okay.
no.
No, he didn't just like walk off campus, go to Magic City, and
Right,
come
yeah,
back.
right.
But he was up in he's from Snellville, which is just outside of Atlanta. He's from that area is where home is. So he was back up there with fam.
Is Magic City the name of the strip club or is it the name of the area?
Yes.
Okay.
It's name of the strip club. Also where 112's Peaches and Cream video might have been shot, amongst other bad boy videos.
You know what I mean? Peaches and cream.
Randy, can we get
We
the
sing on this podcast.
Randy? Can we get the tweet that was going viral that had a picture of wings from Magic City up here?
I've
Because
got the menu pulled up.
because
they looked
the
fantastic.
Sorry,
wings
young
looked
Randy.
really
Yeah.
good. Sorry to toss that one
I'm
on
not
you.
a crinkle cut fry guy. It's like cafeteria French fries. There's not much flavor. to
10
it.
piece, $15.
But the wings.
That's completely
looked
fair.
Reasonable.
very good.
And the packaging was sharp. I don't know if you
Yeah.
noticed that. It even had like a Black Lives Matter
Mhm.
thing inside of
You
the
guys-
packaging. You could tell this is a place that cares about the little
You
details.
guys ever eaten at a strip club before?
Legs and eggs.
Yeah, I know I know they have food. I just don't know
Thank you,
Randy.
if it's something that people actually get.
There was a buffet in Fort Worth. I think it was like the Fort Worth Gentlemen's Club that was a lot of the oil and gas guys used to frequent. Not going to name names. I don't
Okay.
mean to out the oil and gas guys.
Jeff,
We got the
Joe,
picture up, by the way.
Tanner.
Thanks, Randy. Yeah, I mean that looks
T-Man.
those look fire.
Those are crinkle
Those
cut
look
fries
amazing.
I fuck with.
I mean, I'm gonna eat them. They're just not my favorite.
I will
I don't know what your
commend
problem is today.
I don't know either.
I will commend the move that you see quite a bit, mostly at wing places, but I will say in the community of throwing the foil in the styrofoam box to protect the rest of the shit.
Mhm.
I really wish that Chinese food to go food would employ this tactic because that keeps your seats clean.
It's underrated. We were talking about foil today. Remember we did like 5 minutes on foil and circling back.
What's that second sauce? I see it looks like either a ranch or a
You want me
blue
to break
cheese.
down all their sauces? There's 9, I think.
Oh,
Lemon pepper, honey garlic, garlic parmesan. Those are your top 3. Thai chili, personal favorite of mine. Ranch, teriyaki, barbecue. Hot, naked, battered.
But you haven't gotten to the specialty
that must be
ones.
Thai chili.
The specialty ones. Sorry to continue.
No. Do you know what they are?
I
off the
saw.
dome?
Well, go ahead.
Lou Will lemon pepper barbecue,
That's
Juju
what
Rude Boy jerk, Uncle Jeff Honey jerk, and Justice Magic.
Okay. So Lou Williams, we're talking about people that should know better. He is a 33-year-old man who got photographed having, picking up wings at a tit bar. That being said, he has a wing named after him at Magic City.
You got to think he's been there before.
Well, I saw he was on a podcast about 3 months ago where he said that the best restaurant in Atlanta, or in fact, his favorite restaurant in the world is Magic City. So this isn't his first
I'm
rodeo.
going to tell you this. There are a lot of people on Twitter co-signing that take. There's a lot of people who ride for Magic City wings. And I don't know
including
if this-
Johnny Football.
Including Johnny
Johnny
Football,
Football.
who I got this menu from on Twitter. And I don't know if this is like a, man, I read Sports Illustrated or Playboy for the articles, right? That little wink and a nod. But I think these are legitimately good wings.
I mean, I'm looking at them.
Those look great. They look like
They look fantastic.
This showed up on our live stream. This would win.
I will say
It'll be up
this,
there.
that of the items that are available at strip club buffets and or their adjacent restaurants, wings might be in the bottom 3 of things that I want to be eating.
Great
Both
point.
for the employees' sake and my own. And now I know, you don't touch the merchandise and whatnot, but if I'm coming off a hot wing binge and going back into the champagne room, like, you want to make sure that I'm getting like a full COVID dousing and, wet wiping of all of my fingers and under the nails. Just saying.
Wet wipes.
It could get messy.
So they called Micah in college.
Yeah,
That
they did.
shit would burn. That's all I'm saying.
I got to say, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to hit the bang sounder.
I probably talked you off a cliff there. That's on me.
No,
That's
it was
on me.
probably for the best.
I'm with you here, KJ. I can't imagine eating wings inside a strip club. I don't like eating wings anywhere but the privacy of my home.
My mom
truthfully.
won't eat certain foods at a restaurant, like ribs. She's like, I won't eat ribs at a restaurant.
She didn't want to get like candid photoed and memed.
Right. She doesn't want to get. She's worried about the memes.
Yeah, I mean, as good as wings are, and they are fantastic, it's not a pretty sight to watch someone eat them.
That's why they keep the lights low at B-dubs.
Yeah. I mean, eating them at home is ideal.
That and going to Pluckers is just mostly depressing too. The clientele. I mean, I'm sorry to go here, but
Well, we're going here.
there are so many
pod
just
goes there.
really unattractive people there with all of their children, and it's not a pleasant experience because I don't eat wings often, and when I do, I feel a little bit bad about it because I want to eat a bunch of them. Like, they're fried chicken dipped in butter sauce, and I'm gonna crush beers. I know I'm inhaling many hundreds of calories.
All sounds great.
And then you look around and everybody else is obese and there's children running around. It's just like, I don't like it here.
And Twiiins.
I think I told this story one time on either Circling Back or a long time ago on Touching Base, but I was at a Pluckers once, and I was really struggling with a wing. Like, it wasn't cooperating, couldn't get the meat off the bone. It was a mess. I was eating this thing for, I don't know, a solid minute. I was really struggling. And at one point I look up, and there's this, not to be offensive, this really overweight woman. We're at Pluckers, right? She was staring at me in absolute disgust. And I was like, this.
She was disgusted with you.
This
wings giving me
morbidly
trouble.
obese woman up at a chicken wing spot was just disgusted by me putting on.
She
a
felt bad
display.
for the wing.
She felt bad for me. She was like, this guy just. It's the most unattractive thing I've ever seen, and it was not a pretty sight.
Am I the only
understand.
one here who's a fan of just the traditional Hooters wing?
No, I love Hooters wings.
All right. Just want to make sure.
They're good.
Have you been to the Cedar
I'll go
Hill
for the
Hooters
flats.
yet? You don't have to admit to that.
I ordered food before I drove down, and it should be ready by the time I get back up there.
It is notoriously poor service, and it's been open for like a year.
Well,
Spotless.
considering the amount of time you're spending in the car, you might as well just drive to San Marcos.
That's true. I would go to Bikinis, but I think they
Oh, my God.
burned all those down.
Well, or Twin Peaks, you might get stuck in a crossfire
I'll
between
hold that
bikers.
for a future segment of my tales from the road, because there are a couple questionable places I might stop just for the bit, including one Jake's Great Chinese Buffet, which I'm not going to trust a Jake and Chinese buffet that's on the way down here.
I don't think buffets are going to last in 2021 and beyond.
We're veering. That's on.
I mean,
me.
I feel bad. There's an Asian buffet called Buffet Palace near my house,
Oh yeah.
and
That
which
is the most generic name.
I don't like their chances of survival. I think they're going to have to pivot their business model.
Just Takeout Palace.
Perhaps.
Malice at the. No, the Central Market. So I was a big salad bar, Central Market guy, and now you walk by and it's just like their pre-made salads, and you look in and you're like, man, the pre-made salad just doesn't do it for me.
They've got to go the Ponchos or Luby's RIP route of not self-serve buffet, but you get to call your own shots. But then
A
they're
market style.
exactly that's exactly it.
Sure.
Cafeteria style.
Sneaky shouts to Jack Harlow, noted hip hop
Yeah.
dude who kind of set this whole thing off by posting Lou Williams on his story, his IG, and then deleted it and said, "Aha, there's an old photo. Just missed the guy."
Which is hilarious because Lou Williams was wearing his league issued mask that was only given to people inside the bubble, so it was clearly not an old photo.
You got to think that Lou was not too thrilled with Jack Harlow after that.
Well, apparently, because I do want to ask you guys, and perhaps Dave, you are the most important person here as an attorney, since this has been termed risky behavior. So if you leave for an excused absence in the bubble and you get tested every day, you can return to the bubble and quarantine for 4 days. But if you leave for excused or otherwise, and then you get put into this risky behavior category, you have to be subject to a 10-day quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Is it fair that if he would have just gone to Wingstop, would he have had a 4-day thing? Is somebody being holier than thou because he went to a titter? And do you find does he have a case here?
I don't know.
And because it's a 10-day instead of a 4-day, well, great. He's going to miss 2 seeding games, and he's going to lose more than 6 figs in salary.
Mike, I don't know. I mean, like, I wish I had more.
I would say the
that bit wasn't
differentiating
great.
I'm
factor
sorry.
here
It's
is
okay. It's good.
I think the picture with Jack Harlow is what does you in. It's not just that you're seen walking out of this establishment. If you think back to the Zeke walking into the hemp shop or weed shop,
Dispensary, yeah.
Remember the penis
dispensary in
guns?
Seattle, and the penis guns, which no one can ever forget the penis guns.
They had penis guns, Micah.
But that was on spring break. But the weed shop or dispensary in Seattle was like the day before the game. I tried to recreate that photo. It bombed. Didn't do well. Didn't do numbies.
Is it still up?
Yeah,
Plug the ad. What's the
it's
ad?
not there.
What's
It's
the ad?
KJ Ellis with ones as the L's.
This will only enhance his followers.
But I think that's where you draw that line. It's like, had this been the same situation and Zeke's in there like armed up, unblousing a couple bangers, then maybe that would have been risky behavior. But
To be clear, Lou did clarify that there were no entertainers present inside
damn,
of
that's
Magic
a shot
City.
at Jack Harlow.
You know what? That is.
That's, yeah, I don't know the state of the Atlanta gentlemen's club scene, honestly. I mean, like I would imagine that they're not open for live entertainment, but you got to.
Anything seems to go in Georgia. Georgia, remember, was like the first state to allow tattoo parlors and everything else.
They defeated the invisible enemy. I was told, right?
Mission accomplished banner.
What's it in Texas? It's bars have to be closed. Restaurants are like 50% capacity, something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And strip clubs are open, but breweries are down right now. Is the thing. Bars are closed again, right?
Yeah, bars are closed.
Yeah, you have to have a
Bars,
certain amount
yeah.
of percentage of food.
51% of food.
So like, what's the joint on South Lamar?
Lavaca Street.
Lavaca Street. I like that.
They
spot.
have reopened,
But there are bars like
but they have
traditional-
reclassified as a restaurant.
So
They've
pivoted.
been doing some legal work.
There
So
are
they've got a good
traditional
lawyer.
bars that are like, you can have this beer, but you also have to get some pretzels,
Food
to go
items
along
or
with
whatever.
it or
Yep.
whatever.
That's a
Just
good pivot.
to skirt the. Anyway,
So if Magic City is Lou Williams' favorite restaurant in the world, what is your favorite restaurant in the world, Dylan?
You know, I don't know. I don't know. I can't name my favorite one in Austin, actually.
What's the last restaurant you ate at?
The last restaurant I ate at was maybe Fonda San Miguel.
Ooh.
Shit.
Wow.
Well,
It's a
flex
flex.
on them.
Mine's simply fondue.
I love Fonda San Miguel is a top 3
Yeah.
Austin restaurant for me. But I couldn't tell you what the other 2 are. I mean, I had to really do some homework.
Can I tell you how bad simply fondue stinks?
Never been there.
It is the whole fondue thing at that place is just it's so underwhelming.
It's a subtle shot at Arlington right now.
Do they
That's
have
the-
one?
I feel like that's the only place in the world I've ever found one, and it's trash.
I don't want to pile on Arlington too much. I've had
Hey,
a couple people reach
thick
out
skin.
and be like,
Let's
"Hey,
go."
man,
I'm fine.
Michael, what's your
I'll
favorite?"
cry
joint?
about it in the car.
I don't know.
Is there any place, any meal you'd be willing to have to risk a 2-week suspension from this podcast? You might be looking for that.
It's a great question. I don't think so. I did run. We saw. We crossed paths with Barrett and Phil in the recording of Club
Oh, that's
Cool
Club Cool.
on our entrance, and people talked about Matt's El Rancho. I'd say the restaurant most associated with this collection of people.
Absolutely.
I live near El Rancho. They are open now 7 days a week, and there are people there all the time. Could we go on a Tuesday at 6 o'clock and walk in and sit outside and be safe? Probably. But I've refused to do so at this point because I want to feel the adrenaline of having a drink in my hand, maybe getting someone knocked into me, maybe I'm going to spill on someone else. The waiter may ignore me. They're going to tell me the wait's an hour, but
The
it might be
bartender will
45
definitely
minutes, but it
ignore
could
you.
be an hour and a half. Who knows? Like, I like that. I want the whole scene.
Missing the text that tells you your table's
Yeah,
ready.
yeah, and then everybody's staring at the person who was supposed to look at the text, but has had already a margarita and a
Just
half and is
developing
totally out of it. Yeah,
Developing pit stains before you even sit down.
yeah, the certified sweat boy. So I want the whole thing. I want the whole enchilada, some might say.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. For me, wings, dude. I'm a big Thai wing guy. There's a place, Tuk Tuk. It's not a gentleman's club that I know about, but I'm a big Asian wing fan now. Just want to put that.
I like
out there.
Korean fried chicken.
Korean fried chicken's underrated.
Quite good.
Quite
Very good. I would have to go with, if it's not Cinnabon, I might have to say there's a steakhouse in Fort Worth and an Austin, B&B Butcher, that is elite.
B&B goes.
Elite. And they have an Italian restaurant in Houston as well. I haven't
Ooh.
tried.
Buongiorno, classe.
But their steaks are great, and it's like
No.
they don't have you don't need to be wearing a jacket. You can go jacket off there. You can go jacket
right.
on if you want. But the food's great.
You're not gonna.
I'm forcing every shot.
He gets it. Origin story here. KJ and I, the first time we met, true story, was at a Wild Wings, like in person.
That's true.
That was a fun night.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Well,
never set foot in a Wild Wings before.
Do we get it?
Not
You're better
once.
than us.
No, I'm just saying. I just
next time you come up north, we'll
I've always
take you
been a
off 6 or
Pluckers
7
Take him to the Boxcar afterward.
for sure.
always been a Pluckers.
Dude,
guy.
the Boxcar is one of my favorite experiences because it's people from all walks of life. It is Southern Dallas County at its finest.
Imagine Dirty
Sometimes it's
Bills, but they only let you come visit if you lived like southeast of Circuit of Americas and northwest of Houston. Basically,
It is every demographic represented, and like it's just a chill time. I've only been a handful of times, but every time I've been, it's like there's a band playing. The band's not great, but people are enjoying it.
a lot of indoor cigarettes.
A lot of indoor cigs.
Love that for them. Love that.
Cigs inside.
You don't see that too often.
No,
anymore.
no, don't wear jeans that you got to wear the next day. Just
Yeah.
word of advice.
Take a shower before you go get back in bed because you're gonna have that smoky smell on your pillow.
Sounds fun.
Speaking of smoky smells on your pillow, want to talk Marlins?
I think two more people were.
It's 18 now, right?
Is it?
Totally,
Just
yeah.
since I got here, there was at least one.
Okay.
We like to stay up on the latest and
Yeah,
greatest.
whole squad's got COVID, basically.
So they are postponing their games through at least Sunday.
What's the roster size? Let me get that out of the way. Because I know there's 18 that tested positive, but I think they said roster size usually is what, 25?
25
And then they expanded it to 30 or 40.
because of COVID.
Because like for this current situation, they increased the roster size. Now I don't know if people took on more pitchers
Man,
or how they orchestrated
they're
the
changing
team.
a lot of rules that somehow went over my head. Like I didn't know they were for extra innings. There's a runner starts at second base.
Yeah, that's that. I saw that on Sunday. A
Yeah,
game ended because that
I
was
didn't know
pretty
that.
trash.
I'm in for baseball bits. I don't care.
No, dude, the seat. Like, look, this sucks, right? I mean, this pandemic sucks for a lot of reasons.
Uncertain times
Sports
for
are
sure.
greatly affected by it, but it's also kind of making things like weird and a little exciting for me. I don't know. Like this shit's fun, kind of. Like the cutouts in the stands, the cutout fans in the stands, and the weird rules, and the who's gonna get sick. You know,
Are you horny for COVID sports?
they're kind of fun, man. And the NBA bubble, we talked about it last episode. It's like a summer camp. It's like the overnight camp. They're having a great time in there, fishing and telling ghost stories and shit. It's fun, man.
Let me clarify that for the people at home who are just beating
having summer
themselves to
parties.
death over my roster statement. Teams have a 60-man player pool, but they have to submit a roster of basically a 40-man cutoff after that. And then from there, after July 20th or 23rd or 24th, cuts to 30 with a minimum of 25. So most teams have about 30 at this point.
Okay.
Which, if 18 of your 30 have tested positive, like, what the hell are you doing?
That just means you call new guys up, or I mean, I know they're canceling games or postponing.
I think that's a good
whatever.
idea. I mean, the fact that there's no minor league baseball right now, there should be a pool of players that are ready for this
Right.
very
Replacement
situation.
players, basically.
My neighbor's son.
TikTok Palace.
Yes, one of them is a TikTok sensation, although he apparently had his account hacked. They have an older son who pitched for Auburn, and apparently he's a lefty and he throws 95. He's hit 95 on the gun, which, I mean, there's a place for that,
If
right?
you're left-handed and throw 95, there's a place for you somewhere.
I'm hoping there's a scenario where he ends up on a roster.
That'd be tight.
Yeah, just so I can just be kind of like, hey, man, I kind of know that guy. He calls me sir. In the we see him at the park. I mean, he definitely calls me sir. And he's not being condescending. He's just a well-mannered young man. Is that what it's like, Dylan?
That's what I have to look forward to.
I don't get it.
Well, just to have people like, you know what I'm saying?
You're saying I'm old.
No, I
Respect
wouldn't
you
say.
as a
I say you're
citizen.
mature.
Okay, well, thanks. Again, I like to remind everyone that Dave and I are the same age.
You've got like 9 months on me.
Wait, Micah, how old are you?
36.
Oh, we're all 36.
Oh shit, I'm the
Minus-
young bull in
minus
the
KJ.
house.
We're all 84
Great.
boys, right?
What are you?
86.
Oh.
30. I'll be 34 in October.
Wow.
I am the oldest.
I
though.
think Will
1983.
and I are the same age, roughly.
Okay.
Randy's like 16, I think. He just got his driver's
Young
license.
Randy is what people are calling him.
We were around in the Reagan administration. Randy doesn't remember 9/11.
He doesn't remember Iran-Contra.
How old is Randy?
25, 6. He's weirdly older than Brett.
He was 6 years old when hybrid theory dropped. That is insane. You even know who Lincoln Park is? Sad. Yeah, that's like as much as I know who like Ario's Speedwagon is.
How old were y'all when Life is Peachy dropped?
I don't think he was alive.
Korn's
Well,
second
96, 97.
album. What's your favorite Korn album, Dylan?
I can't name a single one, David.
So we think baseball's done. I don't want to be negative. I'm not going to be negative. I'm trying to be glass half full. Is that the saying,
Yeah.
the common term? It's gonna, look, I may have been a little bit more negative about this a week ago, and now I'm kind of like, all right, maybe it seems like they're managing it. They're going to postpone the games. The Marlins weren't going to make any noise. That's fine. The Rangers are unwatchable through 4
Rangers
games.
stink, but
They're
I've had
their
fun watching
lineup.
baseball.
I've had fun.
So-
The novelty of the new stadium is not worn off for me yet.
It's sad that you're right. Baseball will probably – I don't see it lasting too much longer.
Could they be doing more in-stadium bits, though? Like, I've seen the hockey stadium. I've seen the NBA's stadium. Granted, those are bubbles. You've only got to put up screens in one place or 2 places in hockey. But I don't think the stadiums are doing enough, like, big screens that are added in to cover up some of the empty space. Every time I watch the Rangers game, it's just because that stadium's so big and so
yeah,
new.
it is jarring.
It's your eyes are attached.
Anytime
to
there's a
everywhere
pop
else.
fly,
Yeah.
like you're like, oh, this is an empty stadium. This
Yeah.
is weird. Like you can watch an entire NBA game the way that it's shot, and not be too. You got the screens, and it's I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I guess there was a game on Fox this weekend where they put in like video game fans.
No, it was cutscenes of fans. I saw that. The Brewers
Oh,
and
okay.
the Cubs.
Yes, I saw it. There was a home run to like right
So-
center field, and I was watching highlights of it. And I was like, what the fuck? Why are there fans out there? But they just digitally.
I don't keep deep fakes out of baseball. Is what I'm saying.
And they even like stood up when there was a home run hit, and
Yep.
like they're gonna catch a home run ball. It was really wild.
It was like it messed with my brain because it was around a 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock game. So on a Sunday, you're just chilling. You look up and it's like cutscene, and then back to an empty stadium. But on top of that, it was at Wrigley, so the people in the bleachers were still there since that's not in the stadium. Like outside the field, I think they call them the bleachers, right?
Yeah.
Those people were still there at the bar next door or whatever. And so you're like, okay, I see people, but not in the other stands. It was a cluster.
It's like in these golf tournaments where there's like houses by the greens, and you can hear, they're having like 30 people over just to drink and stand under a tent and yell at golfers. And you're like, wait, what? And
Rocket Mortgage was big for that.
Yeah.
The one positive thing on the baseball side is that apparently, and the Major League Baseball put out a statement that said that they tested like 4,000 tests over the last 4 days, including every other team and umpires, and had 0 positive tests outside of the Marlins. So if that's possible, but I just don't see this lasting. Without the bubble, there is no bubble environment. This is going to happen to another team probably pretty soon.
Put it into terms that like a guy like me can understand. Are you bullish or bearish?
He's bearish.
I'm bearish.
Yeah.
All right.
Claws down.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be, but I am.
I'm for sake of argument, I am bullish. Okay, let the record reflect that, young Randy.
I think the season plays out for sure. I don't think these games are going to be replayed. I think that's trash. They're like, oh, postpone. We'll play them at a later date. They'll play them at a later date if the games matter, because the Yankees are one of the teams that are going to lose games here. But I think if you look at what MLS did, like FC Dallas backed out of the MLS tournament after they had a collection of players.
I was ready to support my friends at FC Dallas.
Yeah, they had like a tournament or something going on. They basically jumped into a playoff type thing. They had too many people test positive, and they just basically backed out. I think this is a situation where they'll try to roll on with the rest of the league. If for some reason the Marlins can't shake this, or if another team gets hit at a bad moment, I think that's going to be what the deal is. Like, let's say the Dodgers or the Rockets, or not Rockets, Dodgers or the Astros get this rolling into the playoffs. Like, okay, now you can delay these games.
Well, and I guess they've got to consider the possibility like that the MLS had, where they're playing the MLS's back cup, so it's not they're not naming an MLS champion for this year.
True.
And if this happens to 2 or 3 other teams, like maybe you don't have a World Series, but you have some World Cup of baseball, like you do some kind of weird tournament to get TV programming, but you don't call it a World Championship. I don't know. It's not great.
You know what I always loved about medieval times? It was a dinner and tournament in one. They would give you a rotisserie chicken
Or a turkey
chalice,
leg.
Yeah, big ass
turkey leg too, and then you would just watch the knights go at it.
Have you been to one for real?
I've been to it multiple times.
I was going to say, that's got to be on your list. It's definitely got to be on the list for you and Parks in the next 3 to 4 years.
Man, one of the reasons why I held out for Game of Thrones so long, the medieval times just do nothing for me, like the era. But I'm sure it's fun.
Does Parks like a big turkey leg?
He likes chicken nuggets.
Y'all know
and
my
dinosaurs.
turkey leg story, right? From Schlitterbahn in New Braunfels.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know the story. Go ahead.
Yeah.
The one time I went, I was a little kid, and I got a turkey leg, and I was eating it, and this girl walked by holding her like wet inner tube, like she was going to get on like the Bubba Tub or one of those rides, and her wet tube just brushed by and like scraped my turkey leg, and I just was like, so
You were done with your turkey leg.
I was done with the turkey leg. No more turkey leg.
Poor Dave.
I had to throw it away.
Young Dave.
Grossed me out. Just the thought of even at like 10 years old, Schlitterbahn inner tube water on my turkey leg.
That's when you had to Dippin' Dots and just call it a day.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I would put Medieval Times right next to Rainforest Cafe, and, too many bits for the end product, but there's definitely an age range for both of those places.
Planet Hollywood or Hard Rock, go.
Oh, Hard Rock, because the swag.
It's swag
The
too.
merch fucking
Call it swag, yeah.
hits.
It does hit, and it rocks hard.
Nothing like seeing a Hard Rock shirt from Rapid City on somebody walk by. You're like, oh, cool, you went to South Dakota. Badass.
As a kid, I had multiple Hard Rock shirts.
It's a good bit. It's a really good bit.
I can remember family members coming in town from New York and they're like, let's go to the Hard Rock. And I was like, fuck yeah. The Roughs are going out of the town. It's T-shirt time for the D-Man. Playing at Hollywood was always too much.
You want a picture with the Terminator and, sit on like the checkered floor table next to like the Pulp Fiction setup.
What was the couple, the outlaw couple?
Oh, I'm blowing this. Bonnie and Clyde?
Bonnie and Clyde, their shot up movie vehicle hanging on the ceiling.
Bad bits.
Bad bits. Weird story. Okay, here we go. This is my
better
favorite.
bit.
This is my favorite thing because this is Pat Mahomes talk. Because he's bought a piece of the Royals, and as Micah notes, big dick status.
Can we have Micah put together every rundown?
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to bring this kind of heat in the
big dick status.
I just think this is such a fucking power move.
Dude, this guy's living the dream.
He is. And instead of just showing up to Royals games and being treated like a king and having to pay for a suite, I own the team. I'm an owner.
Whenever sometimes you just daydream about having like endless amount of money and like what you do with it.
Sure.
Owning at least part of a professional sports franchise is always something that I like want. Like it's just like it's super tight.
Are you not? You don't have to discuss
Is
this.
this about the FC Austin? Whatever.
Yeah, aren't you part in that ownership group?
No, I'm out. I'm out on it.
Okay, I think he's being coy here.
I mean,
He's very
but
humble.
you know how Pat Mahomes, when he walks into Kauffman Stadium, he's treated like a king, no doubt. Probably anywhere he goes in Kansas City. It's a lot like hanging out with Dylan. I'm sure whatever they're calling that stadium that they're going to play soccer in that was built on a literal dump. I'm sure Dylan, the people are like, Dorn, welcome in, man, your family.
Thought you hated soccer, man.
Fuck you, Dorn, but seriously, love what you guys are doing. I love too much dip, except for the name.
Oh man.
Do you want to hat tip the guy who recommended a different volume of dip on the chip?
Yeah, I don't know your name, but you were right. This is an ad, and a couple people pointed this out. Like the amount of dip on our logo, it's not too much. It's like an adequate amount, and you might be seeing a new logo.
Do you think that we need
respond to feedback?
We need enough dip that some will be running down your chin.
It's a visceral. No, what does he say?
Yeah, I'll leave
And
that
it's
to
a visceral
Experience.
queso drips down your chin.
I don't even like doing his voice anymore because I find him so vile that I feel like I'm normalizing him. And I know that's overthinking it, but I'm very upset.
Snowflake.
And I just got to say, Micah, we're not going to let cucks like you turn this state blue. And that rhymed. Kind of turned into George W. there.
They're going to be a hard purple for the next 6 years.
So you just turned into Ashley Will
Ashley
Ferrell.
Schaefer.
Ashley Schaefer.
Deep hue. I looked up the percentage that that Patrick Mahomes purchased of the Royals is 5% stake. I don't know what he paid. I'm sure that was in an article. Could be found online. I don't know. Go fuck yourself. You can find it. I apologize. That wasn't nice. But the value of the Royals is $1.025 billion. So that's like a $50 million.
5%'s more than I was thinking.
change.
That's a pretty good chunk.
Yeah. Like the other celebrities that I've seen do this bit, did it with the Rangers, and that was less than a percentage, or maybe about a percentage from what I recall. Justin Timberlake has owned part of the Grizzlies. I don't know if he still does. Obviously, Jay-Z owned a part of the Nets, had to sell it to start his sports agency.
Mm-hmm.
And most notably, Natalie Portman and 97 other challenge accepted participants are now owners of a female soccer team, which I think is badass.
Micah, what do you think about that?
I don't know. I know that Usher used to own a piece of the Cleveland Cavaliers, which was just random because he's not from Cleveland.
He's from Atlanta.
And he bought it like a year before they got LeBron. So he actually probably turned a little profit on that.
Wait, what team did Usher own?
The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Where's he? His hometown is Atlanta.
I believe so, yeah.
Drake, we'd be remiss if we did not mention.
I want my chips with the dip.
That's
Exactly.
Drake right
You
there.
asked for it.
Yeah, I feel like it should be said.
People forget that Usher introduced us to the A-Town Stomp.
And there probably has to be a celebrity in the 1,762 Green Bay Packers owners out there. What do you think about that bit?
You know, we were talking earlier about the guys whose studio we used to record in.
Oh, no.
our
Are they
friends at
also
Early Bird.
owners of the
One
Packers?
them,
He
Matt,
owned a share.
Matt
yeah.
owned a share. He has it framed on the wall. I
Yeah.
love that dude. Shout out to Early Bird CBD.
Oh, that's such a good bit. And they mailed
That's
it
fun.
to him to frame and like keep up, and like they get invited to the ownership conference, and I don't know, it's the whole thing.
That's cool. It's like, I mean, doesn't everybody get invited to the Berkshire Hathaway? Like, even if you own like a very insignificant amount, like anybody can go. Maybe that's all of those. But
If you buy a TV at Nebraska Furniture Mart, I think you get to go.
I've never been to a Nebraska Furniture Mart. That's a fun fact about me that you guys will learn. It's part of my origin story. Anything else on Pat? Oh, dude, the guy. I want to see the guy in the cage taking BP.
The guy is
Good ball player in his own right.
a pitcher, though, right? I'm sure he could swing it a little bit. But
I've seen him. He hits piss missiles off the tee box.
So
I bet he can. He can make that transition.
I do have a baseball-related Pat Mahomes story.
Okay.
One of our co-hosts of the Titan High podcast, which we run on the Backdoor Cover feed, there's my cheap promotion, 30 minutes in.
How many pods are you going to promote?
Well, hopefully a bunch.
Jesus.
I haven't even gotten to Mind of Micah. Anyway, on
Beeping this
El
all
Gars, he played for the Grand Prairie Air Hogs.
I remember the Air
Oh,
Hogs.
yeah, the Hogs.
Didn't Mike Bassick play for them?
He did.
A cup of coffee with the Air
He
Hogs?
did.
Well, El Gars played at Vandy and ended up with the Air Hogs eventually and did not make it to the big leagues. But Pat Mahomes Sr. was on the team, and he had already played 16 years in the big leagues, but he was still playing in the independent league, and by all accounts, a huge piece of trash. He would give he had a second family. He said Pat Mahomes Jr., the one that we know, the quarterback, good kid, would take BP, was nice, was polite, everything else. But he had a second family, and he would give his kid Coors Lights on the bus to
what?
like keep him quiet. Yeah,
What's your source here?
my buddy who was on the Air Hogs, El Gars,
Who is the guy that was... Where does the Pat Mahomes tie in?
It's his dad.
Pat Mahomes Sr.
Oh, this is his dad.
Pat Mahomes Sr.
Has
Okay,
a second family.
had a second. Well, like he remarried and had younger
a secret
kids.
family?
No, not like.
Oh,
he-
okay.
So Pat Mahomes,
Okay.
I
yeah,
thought we were talking double life.
He did it the right way. You get a divorce and then
right. And then he had a
start
second.
anew.
He remarried and he had a small
we
child
call
on
it
the
living
bus.
the dream.
He said everybody on the team was like, I
18
fucking
years.
hate Pat Mahomes Sr., but he played 16 years in the big league, so everybody, like, you had to show him respect. But he would have his kid on the bus, and his kid would cry, and he'd just feed the kid
How
Bud
old's the
Heavies
kid?
or something. Like 4. I don't know.
Okay, these are serious allegations.
These are.
I'm telling you, Pat Mahomes Sr., trash.
When the audio clip
Alleged trash.
Allegedly.
is pulled for this, let's make sure we attribute
to El
the
Gars.
things that you can
You just
hear
lo-
on
you just lost
Micah's
half
other
our-
podcast feed.
Just lost half our listeners.
Unreal.
Sorry. Shouts to Titan
Pat
High.
Mahomes Sr. is trash, according to Micah. So there you go.
But Pat Mahomes Jr., nice kid. Nice guy.
One of the most
He's an
likable.
adult
Very wealthy.
owner of a
Yeah, he's-
major
yeah,
league
it's
team.
superstar
I apologize.
athlete.
Yeah. I should put some respect on his
Yeah.
Yikes. Wow. I don't know how we move on from that, but we got.
name. Shouts to the Air
To be
Hogs.
fair, we have all the respect on Pat Mahomes Jr.'s name. Love the guy.
Wreck 'em.
Extremely likable.
Wreck 'em.
We would lose like a third of our audience if we didn't. Like that entire crew.
Mm-hmm.
Landry and Co. would,
All 700 of their friends would stop listening.
who I now follow on Twitter. Most of them don't know who I am. I'm just following them just because I feel like I have to keep up with their little.
I'm going to steal
monologues.
one of their bits, and this is like taking a niche thing and making it less niche, I guess. Makes no sense. One of their followers or friends awards a follower of the week and does a big production about it, and I think it's effing genius. So may steal that bit and just pick one follower of the Too Much Dip Twitter feed
Wow.
and celebrate that king or queen each week.
If you want to follow Too Much Dip, thank you for saying
There
that.
you go.
Too Much Dip, 2 P's on Twitter. Too Much Dip podcast on IG.
What does Stoops have to say about that? That's what I want to know.
This will only enhance his followers.
We're taking requests on the drops now.
Until somebody comes in and pushes you out of the ad space, I will feature your name and handle instead of my own each week.
Wow.
This pod's
Whoa.
going to be really
Big
fucking long
time.
when we get some ads on it. I just got to say that. Like, it's crazy how much we go through on this. We haven't even got to Lamar and Antonio Brown.
I missed this one.
Oh,
somehow.
I didn't see that one either.
This one just broke.
He's riding for Antonio, huh?
Yeah, he's the quote here is, he's the type of guy we need in our locker room. This is Lamar Jackson, of course.
On Antonio Brown.
And I feel like the locker room here is different from any other locker room.
It's just different.
It hits different. What do you think about that?
I think that'd be a terrible decision. As someone who loves a lot of Antonio's bits, does not think taking him into a locker room with a young quarterback like that and a younger receiving core. They've got talent all around, including James Prochet out of SMU, who I'll highlight before. What's Hollywood's last name? Hollywood Brown. That's why he's going after Antonio. That's probably how this came about. So that makes sense. If he's got his cousin playing on the team, then you've got a reason to ride for him publicly. So I get it under that context, but it'd be a waste of time, waste of attention.
Antonio's got a lot of baggage at this point.
Yeah,
Too much
Some
to
allegations
employ,
that are
I think.
very
at this
troubling.
point. That video he did outside his home about the domestic situation.
That was bad.
That was
really-
the last straw for me.
I worry about the guys. He just seems like he's unstable right now.
Exactly.
Which-
He seems unstable.
He was really fun the first couple weeks of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, this helmet controversy. That was only a year ago is when all this
Yeah,
started.
what a year.
Jeez.
What a
Like-
year.
God, truly uncertain times.
When he was shooting the I'm Free video and running out and jumping in the pool. Not long after that, he
that
filmed.
wasn't good content.
No, it wasn't. It was produced at a high level, but the content was terrible. He did do a couple cameos that was good content. And seeing Antonio Brown wish somebody like a happy birthday and congrats on a recent promotion from his pool, that is content I will take with me forever.
Anything else?
I don't have any time for Antonio Brown.
Fair.
I don't have any. Although
Is RG3 still the backup?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, but I don't know what his contract status
I
is.
pull for RG3.
I mean, Antonio Brown is unequivocally the best wide receiver in football over the last 10-year period. Like, there is no debate. If you look at what he did, he was not one of the best, the best.
Have you seen what Michael Gallup has done?
over the last 10-year period.
Yeah, since he's been in football.
Okay.
I think he's
Well,
been in the league
not
like
many
10
careers
years.
have spanned 10 years, so that's sort of
Julio.
unfair. But yeah, give me Julio too. I mean,
Even without the touchdowns, I'll
Michael
take
Thomas.
Julio.
I know he's only been doing it for a few years, but he's as good as it gets.
Yeah, I won't even acknowledge
It's true.
that.
All right, well, don't.
He's good.
No, you're
he's
right.
fast,
I mean,
but
over 10 years, no
If you look
I
at
can't wait for the
he's
Discord
been
to get
very
a hold of
good,
this.
but he is also despicable in many ways
there we go.
based on these allegations.
Can't wait till
Allegedly
games start so
despicable.
I can just call all of Micah's opinions trash.
I can't wait for that too.
why not start now?
You can call, yeah.
Yeah, you really, I mean, there's no like
That's true.
moratorium.
You just
on
sort of subtweeted me.
But if I get the,
I can't wait to start calling you trash.
it. Yeah.
I need the
Thanks.
veil of games to then take shots that are just like on the premise of.
That's true. It makes personal attacks
Veil
easier.
of Games would have been a great podcast name. Where was that 2 weeks
Where
ago?
was that big idea? You know,
We're stuck with too much dip.
we went through about
more marketable.
95 names, and I'm glad we landed where we did.
And if you don't like it, you can email Brett because it was his idea. No, I wrote for it. When he put it in there, I was like, dude, shout out to Brett.
I do have one request. Once we get around to start making merch here, that we start with a jersey.
I don't know if we're doing jerseys.
Dude, I'm down for a jersey.
There's no TMD jerseys out there. I'm just saying. That's
We have
my
a very
pitch.
jerseyable logo.
Hey, there's my contribution.
Dad hat with the
if you
chip
just
on it.
isolate the chip in the queso and put it on a hat,
It's $1 million idea.
It looks like every
We should
basic white girl
get to trademarking
I love
that.
queso.
Queso is Bay.
Queso is bay. Dude, that's the thing. A lot of people like queso and tacos and pizza. You ever think of
Ooh,
it?
and red wine.
Yeah. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Pizza is life for a
it's
lot of people.
It's a personality trait.
Just don't talk to me before I've had my coffee.
Dave, what buttons are you hitting over there? You make me nervous.
No, we're good. Don't worry about it.
I showed him a new tool, and now it's distracting the shit out of
It
him.
really is.
Oh, so you can actually pull. Now they're labeled if you pull them up.
Yeah.
Queso,
Oh my God.
queso, wine, pizza.
And Twiiins.
Are you kidding me?
I'm setting myself up.
He
I
sat
just
he
moved
sat in the
myself.
crease there, and he was fighting with the puck for
And
quite a while.
Twiiins.
It's
Shoved
just
it back.
I'm the dude in the dunk contest who like I have not hit the dunk yet, and like I'm gonna keep going to it, and I refuse to just do something that's gonna get any kind of scoring from the
And
judges.
by the time you land it, everyone's sick of it.
Yeah, it's like, all right,
I'll give you an 8.
here's an 8. It's more of a sympathy
made
thing.
Do we want to talk people opting out at all, or skip to quick hits? What do y'all think?
Patriots, like 6 on their
Yeah.
defense, right, or 6 on their team, including what Hightower.
Hightower, Patrick Chung, a couple other names that I don't have the list in front of me, but 6 at least, and all from their defense. With some rumbling that, Belichick might be pulling a Dana Holgerson, which if I can think of one coach who you don't want to follow in their footsteps of, might be old Dana. I'll save that
Near
for
the top of
another
the
day.
list.
Dude, now you talk about follically challenged.
That's
My
a man who was
my
living
man is
with
an
that era.
inspiration.
He looks like Gallagher. Is that old comedian's name?
He smashes
He's
watermelons.
the watermelon smashing guy.
As a kid, that did not get any better than a comedy
Oh,
special.
here comes the mallet. He's doing it. He's gonna do it.
You know, he has a twin brother who like does it now. And I think he ripped him off.
You can't do that bit as the guy who looks just like the other guy.
Didn't Chappelle do like a Gallagher bit?
Yes.
Black Gallagher. Yeah.
Mhm.
I gotta go back and watch that. Yeah, I don't know. Belichick, man. I mean, yeah, he's up to something.
Oh, so you think he's tanking for Trevor Lawrence? That's the deal here.
Yeah.
Tanking for Trev.
What he doesn't know is I think Trevor Lawrence's fiance is going to have him stick it out and graduate just for her future. She wants to make sure he has his degree. So
Yeah, I mean, it would mean a lot to her.
I think that's the
Can't believe
plan.
that dude got engaged.
Win.
What an idiot!
I know.
What a win.
What an idiot!
That's what Chandler Parsons told us. My one interaction with him. He goes, "Where's your buddy who's getting married? Where's the groom?" What an idiot. I was like, dude, I love movies as well. I watched Wedding Crashers and quoted with my boys as well. So good. You know, he's rolling with Manziel in that squad.
Oh, man. It was fate.
It is.
It's fate.
I wish him well. I like.
I always
Chandler.
liked Chandy.
He was sweet. Like in person, he was very nice to us. I share that story, and it's a flex. But I did meet him once.
How's he
and
not a part of the Club Cool pod by now?
He might be too cool.
Yeah.
For Club
I
Cool.
feel like he was made for that pod. Which they have a Discord, I would probably
They do have a
mention
Discord
that.
now. Check it out. I don't have the link here to drop, but just know that there is one, and I bet
Yeah.
you could find it wherever Discords are served. You guys want to end it, or you want to do some quick hits?
I definitely want to do the quick hits. I think maybe not the third one, but definitely the other two.
Let's do some quick hits because, guys, sometimes you gotta live. What in the world? Let's keep it quick, Dylan. You see the Astros Dodgers got off to a hot start last night. These teams don't like each other.
I sort of knew who Joe Kelly was before this. Now I love him.
He's my favorite player in baseball.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck the Astros.
Mike is an Astros guy.
I don't care. They're cheaters. They're cheaters.
What do you think, Micah?
I like the rivalry. I'm into it. I want to see more brawls inside of empty 50,000 person stadiums.
You could
Oh,
get
damn,
that
we ran-
without the cheating.
I gotta loop this next time.
Like, I'm not going to comment on the alleged cheating.
Okay.
It's not alleged.
That's true. It's been proven.
Yeah.
Okay. The cheating.
I'll give it to you.
I-
You're sizzling again.
Thank you.
I will say that I'm glad that even though there are no fans in the stadium, that there is still that level of animosity, that we didn't forget about this shit, that like it didn't take the performance of being there in front of people in person to get some of this out of people. And at the Dodgers, have the nuts on them to say something and do something about it. So, I want to see where it goes.
Okay. Midland Lee Rebels Board of Trustees for Midland ISD have voted to change the name. This is iconic Midland Lee. This is the home of the late, the great Cedric Benson. Eric Winston was on that team as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're still sizzling. Just because you don't hear it doesn't mean these takes are any less hot.
I mean, it wasn't Friday Night Lights the movie based off Midland Lee High School?
Permian. Or was it?
Yeah, it was.
No,
it was,
it's Odessa
Lee,
Permian, but we'll give you a pass since our country's dear leader was holding up a Permian helmet earlier, and that's probably what inceptioned you. But yeah, Midland Lee,
Yeah, Trump's in Midland today.
Okay.
but holding up an Odessa helmet. Remember, that's what we looked
yeah.
at. Yeah, so there was some confusion. Midland and Odessa are very close to each other.
Odessa,
Worried about Midland County
Roy
going
Williams,
blue.
Longhorn great.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, I'm shocked about it. I grew up, and we will talk plenty of Texas high school football as the months and years pass on here. That I was enamored with both Midland Lee, Tyler Lee as football powerhouses.
Oh, Tyler Lee.
But I cannot wait to see the cluster F that comes out of this as they like find some way to skirt around it and like change their high school's name to like I don't know. They
The
won't
Royals?
exactly. It won't be the Midland Grant, governors or something, but it will be something that will still keep those roughnecks.
They
out
should
there.
do
Be
something.
roughnecks. Boom, fixed it.
Midland Roughnecks. I
Love
like
it.
that.
Love it.
Something either like super generic Texas-y
Mm-hmm.
or, dude, just lean into the oil and gas thing. That's the entire
Oilers.
economy. It's oil wells and
Yeah.
banks.
Midland Oilers.
The statement of them that area having the most millionaires per capita.
Bring back the
Um,
Oilers.
in the country. I don't know if it's still true, but lean into that. Be the Oilers, be the Millionaires, be the Roughnecks, any of those.
I like the Millionaires, the
Midland,
overnight Millionaires.
the Midland Millionaires sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Kind of audacious, but
They
I
need
don't,
to
I don't hate it.
co-opt Rooster McConaughey out there to do everything Matthew's doing down here in Austin and just roll him out there.
I haven't heard Rooster's name in a minute.
Rooster's a little bit wheels off,
You know,
right?
it's
Like
circling back then, 'cause
he's kind of a wild card. I feel like didn't he
Yeah.
have a show?
Yeah, he had one like on MSNBC where he
Mhm.
just drank a lot of Miller Lights, I think.
Drank Miller Lights and then played basically Shark Tank minus the tank or the sharks.
Oh yeah, he did have that. That's what that show
Yeah.
was. Ooh, hey, hang on. Let me check on the grill. I'm just I'm not hearing anything. Oh, there it is. I'm cooking again. I really got to learn how to loop these sound effects.
Davey.
All right, one more. Let's do it. We got to talk Last Chance U real quick. Sometimes
Yeah.
you got to live Moss.
Last Chance U released on Netflix yesterday. I've not watched it yet. It's the 5th season.
We watched the trailer together.
We did watch the trailer earlier. It's based on Laney College, which is in Oakland or in the East Bay. I was dumb enough as a kid not to realize the East Bay magazine actually was referring to
I had
Oakland.
no idea.
No clue. No clue. But based in Oakland, show looks electric. The coach reminds me of at least 3 of my own coaches. I had a former teammate who played for this guy, so maybe we can get him on if this has some material.
Now we're talking.
I've never watched
But,
this before.
Neither have I.
It's worth your time. If you watch nothing else, Google or YouTube Jason Brown Last Chance U highlights. There was one clip from the coach from season 3 and 4 that basically came out as he's sitting in a hot tub in a podunk ass Kansas town in Independence, Kansas, smoking a cigar, tells the camera straight up, I don't really watch film. I'm something of what you would call an offensive savant. And just goes out there and dog
I love
cusses
that.
every player, every play, and it is just an S show. So highly recommend.
Should we watch this as a show?
Does it have like Hard Knocks vibes to it?
Yes, there's some sadness because you're watching a lot of kids on their last thread and like just trying to get an opportunity.
Right. Okay.
But that aside, they film it, they do it really well.
I was not built for the first few seasons of this because of that reason. Because you're seeing like a lot of guys who have like the athleticism, but like this is it for them, and 90% of them aren't going to make it to the next
Right,
level,
right.
and it's like
That's too bad.
they've got a lot of people riding on them or counting on them. Excuse me, maybe riding on them as well. So I don't know. It was kind of hard for me to like watch. I felt bad. I'm gonna watch this season though.
I recommend.
I think we should watch it. We don't have to watch it all together, but like, and we could watch it and FaceTime each other and just like kind of make each other laugh and make humorous jokes about it.
I say check it out. If nothing else, based on my experience with the seasons 3 and 4, it will give you an understanding of college football that probably represents a bigger portion of college football than what people assume now.
Okay.
People assume student athletes, they don't go to school, they don't do this. Okay, these kids don't either. But like, it's not as luxurious and all rolled tide SEC like these kids walk on, the clouds, or walk on water, not
Tech
the
or
clouds.
SMU.
Definitely not SMU. We'll get to that another day. But yes.
Okay, guys, thank you for doing this. This was
Look, I had fun, David.
Shoved it in.
that was the Living Moss quick hits. Because sometimes, Micah, you gotta live Moss.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Is that the end of the podcast or just the segment?
Just a segment.
you're gonna run
it back.
It wasn't clear, was it?
We were waiting on your run it back.
All right, there's
theme song.
Hold on, we got to do a quick.
Yeah, there's a
combat
couple of
sports
them.
minute.
Oh,
we got
shit.
1 minute. 1 minute. We got Habib versus Justin Gagey. Excuse me, I almost said Cagey. It is a cage fight. Cagey is what I would go by if I were him. October 24th. We have to watch this fight. I would love to watch it together. This is the biggest fight in a long time. The only guy who actually has a chance at beating Habib.
Habib is a terrifying man.
He's a world-class wrestler. He will ground and pound you.
Yeah, he scares me,
He should.
and I feel bad for anyone who
He hasn't fought since September 4th of 2019, so he could be rusty. Although you would think,
however you look at it.
and you would think a guy who is a master wrestler doesn't worry about timing as much as like a major striker. So that's probably not likely to affect him. I thought it was interesting. Dana announced this fight on CNN for some reason. Shouts to Don Lemon who got the
Surprised
scoop.
Dana
It
likes
wasn't actually
CNN.
Don Lemon, but
I
he.
feel like Dana's not a CNN kind of guy.
You wouldn't think so.
Can't be.
You wouldn't think so. That happened.
He likes
But
the
so
truth.
Gaethje is currently the interim champion. So this should be good. Between that and DC Stipe 3 in 2 weeks.
I mean, on
There's some
that'll be a
fights.
hard sell. I mean, both of those fights have ended with knockouts, right? So this one's probably going to be a letdown. I'll watch this fight. I have to because Stipe's like one of the greatest heavyweights ever. DC, one of the greats. He's not he is Hall of Fame, but he's not, Stipe's level. That being said, these guys are both kind of past their prime.
Wow.
Just give me Ngannou, John Jones.
Okay.
How about
That's the guy I was looking for last
How
week.
about
Couldn't
that?
pull the name up.
Wow.
Got him.
that?
I love the Combat Sports Minute.
Young Randy, can we get the my clip of the week? I don't know if you guys saw this. This will be quick, Dylan. This is for you.
Uh-oh. Ooh.
Oh no.
Yeah, 9 seconds.
Good night now.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if you guys saw this.
She was throwing hands.
Yeah, this was like the first pro fight for this 41 or 2-year-old woman on the left, Adkins.
Oh.
And they put her in here, and I don't know how this got
Oh, come
sanctioned,
on.
but it's one of the worst performances I've ever seen.
Oh, she has no business being in
She
there.
does not.
41 in her first professional fight?
Why is the round only 2 minutes long?
Her belt says mom, by the way. You see that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think on the hip before we go further there's a little ribbon, so that might have been like a dedication to a mom. She's probably a mom.
What's
too,
more
though.
sad?
Man,
Yeah.
that's just too bad.
Shouts to
Yeah.
She
DAZN.
got pieced up. That was not a match.
Been watched 3
Miranda
million
Adkins.
times.
She started fighting professionally a few years ago, entering the 40. This is her 42-year-old. Yeah, her debut.
That's what
she was 5-0 with
That's what
5
no
knockouts.
defense looks like.
She just froze, man.
When's
Fight
that,
or flight.
when's that kid from Brooklyn fighting again who has he's 14 with 14 first-round knockouts?
October is what that said before, I believe. What
Shout
we were
out
talking
to
about
you.
last week.
That guy's an animal.
He's the left hook guy.
Extremely
Extremely quick.
To correct my correction, it's Adesanya. That's the guy I'm trying to say fight. When is his next fight?
Who?
Israel
Izzy.
is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Izzy. Stylebender.
Yes.
I don't know when his.
That is a
Didn't have
hell
him,
of a freaking
I love that dude.
nickname. Gosh.
He's got the it factor.
He's got a lot of dip on his chip.
Whenever
I
he's
want my
scheduled,
chips
I
with the
want to see
dip.
that.
We will. Once we get back to more certain times, we should watch fights together.
Love it.
Let's see, Micah, you got anything you want to run back?
Sure. It's before we get to run it back, I do have a correction from last week's show. Someone on Twitter who's at juicy_JAYY, who's
Juicy J.
underscore. Black Eyed Peas fan club is their name on Twitter. Listening to TMD, Bottled Blonde in Chicago got closed after nonstop social distancing violations. So
No way.
That was the only place on our Chicago bar crawl, douchebag bar crawl,
we
that we did
didn't
not make.
get that far. Yeah.
That's where we met young Randy.
Really?
He was at the bar crawl.
Well, that's right.
He was
That trip
I
is
thought you were
where
saying
I
that Bottled
became
Blonde.
a listener. I wasn't there physically, but was the beginning of my
Really?
following. Yeah.
That was a fun
And
trip.
then went back and listened to the back files.
All right. Well, it's time for everyone's favorite segment, Run It Back. I got to think of some sounder music to play in the background here.
We can make that happen.
Run It Back is a segment where we just discuss what we talked about during this podcast. Some reviews are good. We read some. Shouts to DJ Queef. Michael Porter Jr. said, quote, coronavirus is being used for population control. Dylan once had an obese woman take pity on him at Pluckers when he struggled with a wing.
That was a low point.
Dude, that must have been some wing to give you trouble.
Dude, it was giving
I've
me
seen
all-
you eat wings. You go after
I'm
it.
good at wings, man. I'm good at it.
Put that on there. Dylan is good at wings.
Yeah, Dylan's good at wings.
Cut that clip.
Put that on there.
KJ would leave the bubble to eat at B&B Butcher Steakhouse, where you can go jack it off. Dave is trying to be glass full on baseball, wants to keep deep fakes out of the game.
That's true.
Micah is bearish, Dave is bullish. Medieval Times is a dinner and tournament in one, and Dave has been multiple times.
I was actually the red knight for a time.
Parks likes chicken nugs and dino bites. Dave used to tell his family when they visited the Hard Rock, quote, it's T-shirt time for the D-Man.
Like, I'm really enjoying this new segment.
I am too. Pat Mahomes Sr. is allegedly trash, according to Micah. Dylan thinks Dana Holgerson looks like Gallagher. Chandler Parsons is too cool for Club Cool.
And that's not a slight at Club Cool. I apologize.
We think that Midland Lee should rename themselves Midland Millionaires. KJ recommends Last Chance U, and Dylan is good at chicken wings.
There you go.
I went hot off the presses, man.
Apologies to Ted Cruz. I was a little harsh on you earlier.
He's not listening.
Man,
People-
I forgive you for it. I don't know whose voice
Who is
that is.
that?
Is that Jefferson Sessions?
Is that Louis Gomez or whatever?
I don't know. Whoever represents like the 4th district in Alabama, that's probably their voice. That's my Sessions. That's who that is.
Okay. Oh, we didn't even talk Tuberville.
What did Tubbs do?
Did you play? You didn't play under
Tubbs,
Tuberville, did you?
no.
He did not
Leach
skip
for you.
town on you?
No, he didn't leave me high and dry at a CC's or wherever the hell they were.
It was not CC.
No, it was not. It was probably like Fogo de Chao or some shit.
Probably one of the 3 restaurants that's worth going to in Lubbock. No offense.
Somewhere off Martha Sharp. I don't know.
They have a Fogo in Lubbock?
No.
Double Nickel. That's
No.
the nice steakhouse there. It's actually not bad. Shout out Chimmy's as well. Guys, I had fun. We kept it under 90 minutes.
I think it went well.
I think it went well too.
Did you have fun? I
You know
stole
what?
That's a good bit.
I stole Dylan's line. That's my favorite line, he says.
Did you guys have fun?
I did have fun.
I'll skip to the end of the mail
I'm
and
gonna
just to make sure he
continue
asks
having
it.
We got a lot of bits here to get to next week. Big boy stacks. We're looking at you, smoking meats, all that stuff. Go subscribe if you haven't. Leave us a review.
Get that review.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you for your continued support of Wash Media. Bye.
And we're off.
Goodbye.
I want my chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't want my chips plain. I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.